What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to what is going to be a positive, upbeat late night agenda. I will be back later on tonight with a second video where I'll be talking about things like transfers, the situation with our manager, the ownership situation, and many, many other bits and pieces. But before I recorded that video and put it live, I decided that I need to give my head a wobble and I need to try and give your head a wobble as well. What do I mean by that? Well, bear with me for the next 7, 8, 9 minutes while I try and spin this into a semi-positive video so we can maybe get some good vibes going. Right now, my friends, everything feels like it's going against us from a Liverpool Football Club perspective. On the field, we're terrible. Off the field, we look like we're in turmoil. And then there's the ownership situation. And quite frankly, all of us are scratching our heads, frustrated, and looking for scapegoats. Now, this is where I want to just address Pep Lijnders, if I can, for 1 second. I know a lot of Liverpool fans have been taking out their frustrations on social media and pointing fingers looking for a scapegoat. That's kind of normal. I understand that. I do it myself. I get frustrated and you want somebody to vent that frustration at. Well, I'm here today to say, give it to me. Fill that comments up with whatever venting and frustration you need to take out. And I'll tell you why it shouldn't be directed at Pep Lijnders. So I understand people have said things like Pep Lijnders' style that he had when he was a manager that failed is a similar style that we're playing now, and that Pep Lijnders has an undue influence over Jurgen Klopp when it comes to tactics or anything else. But ultimately, the responsibility for everything that happens on the pitch and everything that happens on the training field rests with the manager. Now, I understand that nobody, myself included, wants to have a go at Jurgen Klopp. Why would we? The man's a god to most of us. So people then feel like, okay, well, maybe I can go on social media, vent about Pep Lijnders, because that's far more acceptable to the fan base than venting about Jurgen. But look, seriously, the buck stops with the manager. If you're unhappy about anything from a coaching perspective, team selections, tactics, all of that kind of stuff, it's on Klopp. Now, for me, I want to spin this positively, as I said. I think what we need to do right now, as fans, as a club, and I'm sure Jurgen is doing this as well, is to create a siege mentality where we're all together, we're all pulling in the same direction, and we all want the same thing. Looking at the league table last night, now I know it's changed because Newcastle played today, but they played a game more than us. If we're to win our game in hand, we're 7 points away from the top 4. And being realistic about it right now, that has to be our ambition for the season with regards to the Premier League. League title races, they're out the window. But 7 points isn't unsurmountable, or insurmountable, I should say. Look back over recent seasons. I know it's hard right now. It's really hard to look at what's going on and find any positivity whatsoever. But cast your mind back and think over the past 2, 3, 4 seasons. We've had situations like this. We've had situations where we've all been full of doom and gloom. And I absolutely include myself in that. But 7 points is not mission impossible. Now look, our next 4 fixtures are Chelsea at home, Wolves away, Everton at home, and Newcastle away. So there's some difficult fixtures in there. But I think midday or 12:30 on Saturday against Chelsea gives Liverpool a very, very good opportunity to start the rebuild, to start the momentum, to start pushing ahead. Often at times, if you take in a transfer window, you take in a slip in form, you take in injuries, you've all these other things that are just adding in to just pile pressure onto the club. And I'm sure that Jurgen Klopp is probably counting down the minutes till the window ends so we can just get back focused on the players. You and I and everybody else in the Liverpool fan base don't really have any control over whether we make a signing or not. We want one. Heaven knows we want our midfielder. But right now, it's looking unlikely, but not impossible. But what we can do is we can stay behind the manager. We can stay behind the players. As difficult as it is, I've been on here, I've been calling out Henderson, I've been calling out other players who haven't been performing. But I sat there last night at home and I thought to myself, you know what? Stop being part of the problem and try to become part of the solution. So that's what I'm doing here with this video tonight. I'm urging everybody to just start putting a little bit more of a positive spin on everything, because it does make a difference. It will impact the players. It will impact the stadium. And you know what? It'll probably impact all of our moods a little bit better as well. I'm not naive. I know there's problems at the football club. Some of them probably bigger than we think. Some of them maybe smaller than we think. But we are where we are. And what we have to do now is get our heads together and figure out a way that we can start to build belief in the fan base, start to build belief in the changing room, start to build belief right throughout the club. We know only too well that when Liverpool look like the wheels are falling off in any way, or we're a little bit shaky, everybody wants to put the boot in. Opposition fans, that's their job. They're opposition fans. Their job is to let us know they sense weakness and pounce on it. Opposition teams do the same thing. Owners, the same thing. We need that siege mentality. We need to feel like it is us against the world right now, and that once again, we're going to show the world that when it comes down to it, Liverpool Football Club have the stomach for the fight. These guys have done it year after year after year. And although they aren't at their best right now, it is possible for us to get back into the top four. Who knows what happens when we take on Real Madrid on the 21st of February? Most of us worried about it. Most of us nervous about it. That's understandable. But this football club has been built off exactly nights like that, where we go there, we're underdogs, and we perform. Now, I'm not saying we're going to knock out Real Madrid, but what I am saying is there will be a catalyst, there will be a turning point, there will be one moment where everything starts to click and come back around again. If we think about it logically, right now Liverpool Football Club are without Diaz, Jota, Firmino, Van Dijk and Darwin. Now take those 5 players out of any team in the world, it's going to have a big impact. We're going to look disjointed. So, yes, Jurgen Klopp needs to fiddle with the tactics. Yes, we need to find a way for our midfield to stop being so leaky and opening up and allowing players through. But our manager isn't an idiot. Our manager wouldn't allow Pep Lijnders or anybody else to have undue influence over him, because ultimately it is his legacy. He knows that, you know that, I know that. So we need to vent. And that's why I said, have at it in the comment section of this video. You vent away. We're not going to be reporting you, blocking you, doing anything. Have at it. Let me take it out on me. I know you want it. Oh God, you want it. Take it out on me, because right now, it's easy for us all to feel down in the dumps. It's natural for us all to feel down in the dumps. But you know what? Let's put a positive spin on this. Let's show that we can come together. Let's show that we can get behind the lads. And let's show Jurgen Klopp that his gesture and his praising of those away travelling Liverpool fans didn't go unnoticed. Because yes, there's situations with the owners. Yes, there's an unhappiness at the transfer spend. But none of the negativity is going to be in any way positive or helpful to the manager and the players. And that's what our concern should be right now. Of course, the ownership situation needs to be resolved. Of course, we're unhappy about transfers. But that isn't down to the players. They need us to get behind them. They need us to lift them up. Even those who are critically underperforming over and over again. We are where we are right now. And we need to start clawing our way out of it. And that comes by chipping away at that 7-point tally. Well, 10 points if you take into account the game in hand. One win at a time. Slowly build momentum. It might be eking out a 1-0 scrapey win. It might be a late equaliser to get a point from somewhere. Who knows what that moment will be. But we can do this. Liverpool Football Club can do this. It's not the end or the dream season we all thought about. It's not a title challenge. But getting ourselves back in and again showing that we aren't finished as a football club. Jurgen Klopp isn't finished as a manager. We aren't on the decline. We can steady this ship. Over to you guys. Let me know your thoughts. Vent away. And don't forget, I will be back with a second video. I'm going to record it now. It'll be coming out probably about 10 o'clock tonight. And I will be addressing the transfer stuff, the ownership situation and all of the other things. But right now, it's time for us to come together. It's time for Liverpool fans to have the managers back. And it's time to show him he did the right thing signing that contract extension. Much love, my friends. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.